And tonight's election is the second roll of the dice for Labor leader Rebecca White. Opponents accuse her of spending 3 years in hiding since the 2018 loss. She remains politically bruised from a backflip on her key policy to remove pokies from pubs and clubs. Now, Ms White isn't just dealing with policy difficulties, but also personality problems as well. Despite drawing praise for her resilient response to a campaign called in the advanced stages of her pregnancy, Rebecca White quickly became embroiled in candidate controversy. Tasmanian Labor's President Ben McGregor was a crucial candidate in Clark before he was forced to quit as candidate but not as president over historical text messages to a female colleague. Despite being in the midst of an election campaign, the party president didn't go quietly.
Rebecca has failed in providing leadership here. She has seen an opportunity to rid herself of factional challenge. She has been more focused on ensuring a current mayor gets pre-selected than worry about her party or its members.
Now, the mayor Ben McGregor made reference to there was Dean Winter, and he has come to characterise the problems Tasmanian Labor is facing right now. The state branch is dominated by the left faction, which last month rejected Winter's pre-selection in Franklin despite his popularity. So Rebecca White wagered a high-stakes captain's pick, asking Labor's national executive to overturn the decision and pre-select him.
It's become quite apparent that this has to stop, so I have stepped in and intervened.
I'd given up, I suppose, this time around and thought that I'd just focus on being mayor.
Having put her leadership on the line for Dean Winter, their political fate is now intertwined. But already, such as the dysfunction, there's talk Labor's national executive could take over management of the warring state branch after tonight's election. And Kieran, in a sign of the lack of confidence of Rebecca White, she's already refusing to say if she will go as leader if the Labor Party does lose the election. Well, this is tonight's battleground. 5 electorates, each electing 5 members, 13 the magic number for a majority. We've been discussing Franklin, so let's begin there in the state's south. It's currently represented by 2 Liberals, 2 Labor and 1 Greens. The Liberals will miss the personal vote of Will Hodgman, but given they were so close to 3, getting 2 again would not be a very high bar. Labor, 2 sitting members here, David O'Byrne and Alison Standard. Keep an eye on them both. David O'Byrne, a possible successor to Rebecca White as leader. Any success for Dean Winter, meanwhile, could come at the expense of Alison Standard. Heading to BRADDON in the state's northwest, it takes in Burnie, and the Liberals here are particularly strong. They'll back themselves to lift from 3 to 4 MPs. That hope hasn't been helped by Liberal Adam Brooks, plagued by scandal including alleged firearm storage offences and a dating app scandal as well. Labor would most likely need a 3rd seat here if there's any chance at forming government. That hope lies with a familiar federal face, Justine Key, attempting a political comeback after losing the federal seat of BRADDON at the 2019 election. Kieran, she brings star appeal and recognition, but the real test again here, can she lift the party's vote or just knock out one of the Labor incumbents instead? Bass in the state's northeast, that takes in Launceston, and it's another Liberal stronghold, having flipped to the government federally in 2019. It's home to 3 state Liberals, including the Premier, Peter Gutwein. Labor generally consider this one of their weaker seats, and the Liberals right in the fight for a 4th seat here. Lyons, this is a large rural division in central Tasmania, where the Greens consider themselves a decent chance to win a seat, possibly at the cost of the Liberal Party. Now, this seat sprawls right across a lot of different towns. It's really hard to predict, and the issues here are not electorate-wide. Liberal Guy Barnett, Labor leader Rebecca White should easily be re-elected, but quite an interesting watch on the rest of those 3 positions. Left-leaning Clark takes in the Hobart region and poses the biggest problem for the Liberals' push for a majority. This will be the seat to watch tonight. It's a very tight contest, particularly with ex-Liberal Sue Hickey and local Mayor Christy Johnson both running as strong independents. Meanwhile, Madeline Ogilvie is running for the Liberal Party after defecting from Labor. Remember, Labor needs wins here. The loss of candidate, though, and party president Ben McGregor has not helped that prospect. So, Kieran, the equation is relatively simple. If all Liberal MPs are re-elected this evening, Peter Gutwein needs only to pick up 1 more seat to win government again in his own right. What's not so simple, the Hare-Clark system. At this early stage of the night, the government has no guarantees that popular polling and even a high vote actually translates to a parliamentary majority.